What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. Buckle in, guys. We got a doozy. I wasn't sure how I wanted to do this one, but I think we'll just go ahead and record this raw. I skipped over the intro. I started watching it, but then I decided, I think we just go ahead and just check it out together. I haven't seen anything beyond this. The 2 minutes prior to this is just a introduction, and we have the Etheria meetup where they're going to talk directly with Jack. Chris is the guy that's always on the Hyper Talks, and then you have Genazad, Sean B, and Vulcan, and hopefully they hit them with some hard-hitting questions that we really want answered. And just to give you all some intel, Vulcan and I did the casting for this past weekend weekly tournament, and I believe this was recorded not too long before that, because to give y'all more intel, I know my boy Genazad here was at Anime Expo, and he's not at his home setup. So if I had to guess, just to guess, I think this was recorded sometime in the past week around Thursday, Friday time. So should be pretty recent. I had a thought that maybe the Hyper Talk was recorded way long before that. I know a lot of people weren't super happy with the Hyper Talk, but yeah, hopefully this is more recent and they'll hit on more recent topics. But thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, buckle in, guys. Let's go and just watch this together.
Playing it all day, every day. But kind of like Jenna said, there's a few things, a few major things and a few like iron out things that I think we can work on along the way. I've thoroughly enjoyed, building my teams, getting into the PvP side of things. But obviously some of the main issues that the community has had, between difficulty of bosses into gear loadouts and stuff like that. I think in general, the bones of the game is so fantastic, and if we can iron out some of these issues, for me, the biggest things that I would love to see is some sort of more advanced features into the gear management. And the other one I would love to see is turn order priorities in different combat, because with the game being as hard as it is, getting as many tools as we can to, theory craft and work our way around the problems would be fantastic. But like I said, the bones of the game is great. I love all the PvE aspects of it, the endgame modes in PvE. I really enjoy the RTA. The tournaments we've been having have been really fun, really enjoyable to watch some of the more endgame players. The bigger spenders as well do some amazing things inside the game. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, but there's always room for improvement is where I'm at.
So I want to pause real quick. Vulcan mentioned two things: the auto, enabling skills in full auto, which is very important. Either just turning them off or giving us more customization. I'd love to see that too. It'll open up a lot more room for actual, different type of team comp. Some AI is atrocious, so we can address that. Think of units like Shadow Sonya. Look at things like Beyontin. If your unit casts skill 2 before skill 3. Anyways, the other thing that he touched on, though, was having PvE versus PvP loadouts. And unfortunately, Chris and another guy in the Hyper Talk just last night kind of mentioned that they want to keep the arena loadouts the same as it is. Meaning, in Union Guild Wars, we have, if you can put on your set, you lock it in and you're good. You can go ahead and play your PvE the entire week. And that is saved for PvP, your Guild Wars, your Union Wars. They wanted to keep it for arena, meaning that like you can't save your gear. You'll always have to keep gear on. And I think that's just, I feel like I think we're fighting against our community here when this is not a big deal. They said like it's not a big deal. You'll get more matrices, you'll get more gear as you progress. But I really wish they would just let us lock in our PvP gear in arena at least. And so we don't have to worry about, how many teams I attack on arena offense and you have no gear? I'm sure it happens to me too. Please, Etheria. I don't think it's a big deal to just let us lock in our gear. It's not a skill check. It's not anything. Right now, a lot of people don't have a lot of modules. But anyways, I think that's one of my biggest gripes so far with some of their decision making.
I personally agree with Vulcan on every point. I've been loving the game so far. I've been playing level 94 at the moment. I play a whole lot, like maybe a little bit too much.
Same.
I think
I'm level 100.
The biggest thing for me, besides the skill priorities, is definitely going to be the in-game economy that can be adjusted, because I love playing this game because I can build teams.
Let's go, Sean.
I have every team for almost every Inferno dungeon in the game, but I also want to build the order teams to show the community that, hey, if you don't have Lily, you don't have Shadow Santa, you can actually work around these units. But even with playing a whole lot and spending money, I was having a very hard time just building up the order plan B, plan C kind of unit, because it's really hard to upgrade things in the game, and I hope that it's going to get addressed today, and I can love the game even more.
Good.
So I've really been enjoying Etheria Restart a ton. I totally agree with everything Vulcan and Sean B were saying. I think the game is great, just like Vulcan was saying. The bones are really good, but I think they really need to touch up on some of the difficulty endgame. I'm generally a PvP kind of centric player and like to kind of throw the PvE by the wayside. This has by far been the hardest PvE experience I've ever had in a gacha. It's been really overwhelming, actually, where feels like I have to use every little resource just to be able to do some of the PvE content, and then you have to be switching your gear constantly to other stuff. So I feel
Yeah.
like it would be really nice if there was a way to just instantly swap all of your gear to a specific team. So
Yes,
it's like, oh, I want to do
please.
Inferno
Team
Ghost.
loadouts. Yep.
Okay, now I want to do Inferno Terratron. It just instantly swaps all the
And
gear to
keep
that team
PvP
or something.
loadouts.
Also, I find I just don't have many resources, right? I think pretty much all of us are looking at our money every time we upgrade something, and it's just gone. It's just like, I upgraded 2 pieces of gear, it's gone. And then you look at the gear and you're like, this wasn't even good. So definitely I think scarcity and the difficulty combined makes a lot of people feel very desperate all the time. And also feeling like they need specific units in tandem with that causes a lot of people to feel FOMO because they're like, oh, I can't immediately do this Inferno content. And
Shadow Sonya
I think
Lily.
the game is great. I've been really enjoying playing it, but I can also see a lot of players' frustration from these aspects.
I love it, guys. I think all three, Vulcan, Sean B, and Jenna, brought up the major points I think we need to look at. Loadouts, resources, and maybe, you know, Jenna's also bringing up the PvE difficulty. They've already been addressing the Inferno. That's, I think, what they're doing a lot of, is nerfing a lot of Inferno over and over. But now we need help with the loadouts, and now we need help with the resources.
Yeah. So first, thank you guys and for your passion and love for the game. I can see your content shared on YouTube, Twitch. So I watch most of them, I think. So I think, and also these voices also been shared in the community. So I think.
Oh, is this a little close?
We have a lot of time. I don't go to detail because we will go to all these topics one by one. I think
good. I can't wait to hear.
Time, and I think most of these issues, and we will try our best to provide a better experience. So maybe later we will go to some detail, and I will share some thought on these topics.
Awesome. Yeah. Can't wait to hear what he says.
Cool. Thanks, Jack, and thank you guys for the feedback. So we'll dive into some of those topics later. We've got those on the agenda. But for now, let's share some thoughts about the Hyper Talk we just released. We got some new characters, events, and more to talk about, so we'd like to hear y'all's thoughts.
Yeah, so for me, I'll kick it off with the new characters in themselves. I think they look really solid. I think with Fukui, if that's how we say her name, I'm really horrible.
Oh, so I think, guys, the three of them got to see an early sneak peek of the characters.
Fucho, there we go.
We only found out about them last night.
We were talking about this earlier. I have no idea on pronunciations. But
her name is a little tricky.
She looks like a great option for like a lot of areas of the game. I really have to see how she works mechanically, because just from that little preview, I'm not too sure exactly how all the mechanics work. But like, that's exactly what I thought with Vulcan, guys. So, and if you watched my video last night talking about the two new characters, I said the healer looks okay, but without access to cleanse, I don't know. I don't know if I want her that much. I think the male character, Nahor, will be a lot better for most players. However, I think my mind has been shifting a little bit the more I look at her kit. And also shout out to Fuya, who is another YouTuber. They've been really analyzing, and they think they're going to be strong for PvP, especially bruiser playstyle, which I love. So, guys, take a look a little closer. We'll see more about Fucho. Gauge advancing, healing, shielding, speed buff as well. I think one of the big issues in Doki Doki specifically, for people that don't have Lily, obviously Lily's a big talking point, or if you're not running like a burst real mocha comp, trying to find another speed buffer, because like the most reliable one we have is Red Kaz. But unfortunately, she's red and she just gets nuked. So you can't even bring her there. We do have other options, but they are mainly SSR options. But at least this will be one that you can target, try and get. And I think she's going to have good value in PvP. Her uptime on the speed buff, though, guys, is not that good. If that's how I say it, correct me if I'm wrong on that one as well. I think the AoE freeze with Death Shred is a really obviously nice thing to have. You're getting damage amplification plus the freeze. The one thing I did notice with him is that his skill 2, I believe, is the first strip all buffs in the game. So that was something I really noticed about this game. A lot of other games have, cleanse all debuffs from allies, or cleanse or remove all buffs from enemies. Also single target. And everyone's always 1, 2, sometimes with a multi-hitter like Heinrich, we've got 3, but he's only single target, but he's the first one that removes all buffs off an enemy. So I think he's going to have some utility as well, depending on different areas of the game.
I'm on the same page with Vulcan on the new character looking very good for certain modes in the game. I'm more interested in Nahor. Is Nahor the male character? The male character, right?
Yeah, Sean.
So I'm more interested about Nahor because he's the
Nahor.
first character to AoE defense break and stun in the same skill, which is gonna be extremely good for Doki Doki.
Yeah, honestly, he's stacked.
In the current situation, you have one unit to stun and then one unit to defense break in Doki Doki. So there's always a chance for you to miss the very important stun to take off the damage reduction on a certain target. So if you can have one defense break and stun, and then another unit to defense break,
yeah, I saw a lot of people talk about this too.
With consistency of, let's say, the
especially if you don't have Kloss,
it's gonna be amazing. And also for
but one other thing, guys, if you're just running the Shiata comp, Shiata doesn't really care about defense break anyway, so you may not need Nahor.
PvP in general, having a unit that can defense break and lock down enemy target immediately, it's gonna be amazing because there are certain mechanics in the game that can counter, let's say, Kloss, you defense break them, but they have on Strive, they'll cut in between and cleanse your entire team. But now you have Nahor to stun and defense break, which is gonna stop that from happening, which is very, very cool. So I can't wait to see what that's gonna look like. And because I've been saving my summon, I've been patient, I can hit pity on one of the characters pretty much immediately without spending a single dollar, which is not going to be a fun thing to tell Jack about. But, you know, that's going to be great. I feel like I can hit pity on the next character. It's going to be very amazing for both PvE and PvP.
Did he say he's never hit pity?
So
oh my god.
Defense breaker stunner is actually just a really big deal because those are two of the most impactful debuffs in the entire game at the same time. And we haven't really seen anything like that. I think it's really important, though, that we have
one quick clarification, guys. Jenna's 100% right, but also it's a freeze. So if you're used to other games stuns, the freeze is actually even better because of the turn meter. You cannot manipulate it.
A character that strips all deep.
So it's even better.
Separate from that character, though, because something that can really spiral out of control in this type of game is having a character that strips all immunities off someone and then immediately like stuns or defense breaks, and then people feel completely helpless, right? So I think it's actually really good that these aren't the same skill or anything like that. And I mean, just as Shambi was saying, it has so much utility in this PvE.
I think we're talking about some Epic 7 characters. I know what Jenna's talking about here. AoE strip into AoE stun. AoE strip, ignore effect resist into stun. That's like the old school bizarre Tywin, guys, if anyone's an Epic 7 player.
Content, because I mean, as I was saying before, the PvE is really difficult, so you actually have to plan out so much with each one of these abilities. And having something that stuns and defense breaks, this is usable in like everything, really. Like, I think this has so much future use as well. It's really important. And I think it would be good if some of these previous characters that we have too, maybe some of the unused one could get bumped up to have a little bit more utility like that in the future as well. But I think these units are going to be pretty big for the game.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you for your thoughts, and I hope you like these new characters. To add on some information, I just want to take this chance to share some share some thoughts about the new character release. So what's the plan? What's the frequency and the banner, and so why we release these characters? So
they're releasing a lot of characters
to this topic. As you know, so already Chris already shared in the Hyper Talk. So we know that it's the banner. It's a little bit too frequently. So sometimes just 10 days or 2 weeks. There's a new characters. It's a bit pressure for the players. So, but we, as we said, we are doing in this genre. We can see if we see the games on the market in this genre, they got 200, 300 characters, right? So because this kind of game is strategy, and it's important, it's strategy and diversity and the team building, all this stuff needs more characters. Because
but Jack, those games have been out 7 to 10 years, dude. We gotta, I feel like he's saying it is important to have a lot of characters, but also like, I don't know. Like a lot of these other games he's comparing to, they didn't start with 300 characters, 200 characters.
Can provide more possibilities with this team up building, because like some players are really creative to create some fantastic team builds. So that's why at the very beginning we launched, we only got 50 units. That's SR and FSR.
They said this in the Hyper Talk too.
We are close to 60, I think. So, but we think it's quite a lot, but still there's a gap between our goal, or it's to make this game more fun and more diverse. So that's why at the very beginning we released the banners and characters a little bit more frequently, But after this banner, you can see, if you can check the, how to say, the duration of this banner, it will be 3 weeks. So before it's always 2 weeks, but from this banner, it will be 3 weeks. And hopefully we can fix this, how to say, this duration of these banners to
the frequency
3 weeks. So every 3 weeks we will release new characters.
Oh man,
and
that's
there won't be a back light and dark banner. So some players maybe, sometimes.
So guys, it sounds like they've officially released the release schedule. 3 weeks LD banner. So you got Yelly for 3 weeks, and then we'll have it probably won't always be 2 units, but they'll say like a regular non-LD banner, like the what do we have? The Nahor and then the Fucho. And before that it was Hoyan Holden. I don't think it's always gonna be a double red, green, blue, but yeah, so it seems like every 3 weeks, guys, rotating LD, rotating RGB, and that's common in other games too. But it is a lot right now, and I thought they were going to run some reruns so people could get maybe like a Lily, a Kloss. But yeah, it sounds like it's going to be new units. The one good thing, though, guys, I will say about this is that unlike other games, there's no true limiteds. So all the characters are always going to be in the permanent summon, and so there's no like actual way of just missing out forever. That is one thing.
There's one light and dark banner, then another again. So this won't happen. We try to manage that. And another thing is about SR. So maybe so.
Oh yeah, how are they going to bring out the new
only
SRs?
SSR its value, and because it will generate some revenue for the game, right? But we also see in Etheria there are a lot of SR characters. They are also super powerful.
Very good, yeah.
And even some R characters like Vice.
Vice.
So a lot of
Vice the God.
are using Vice because it's easy to build, right? So I think that's a part of our very beginning why we designed these characters, because we want almost every character has its position. I shared in last live chat. So before launch. So that's our goal. We want to create every character has its position, and in somewhere even the R character. So that's our goal. So in the future we are not only release SSR characters but also SR characters. There are several already in work in progress, and so we hopefully will release in other banners. So there will maybe SSR banner, and there's also new SR characters. So it's easy to get and easy to build. So that's our plan for in general. So how we release the new characters.
All right, thank you guys for that. That was some great discussion on the new characters. But now let's get into the new event that we revealed. I'd love to know your thoughts.
Guys, just for sake of speed here, I think I'm going to skip over the content creators' thoughts on, I'm glad I listened to the you should probably go back and watch this on your own, but I kind of want to get to the meat of like Jack addressing the main issues. And I think a lot of y'all tuning in kind of want to see that too. I will watch the rest later on my own time because I am very curious what they say about Dreamscape, and maybe Jack's going to give more insight like he just did with the release schedule. But yeah, let's go ahead, and I think I want to skip ahead a bit because we know about the Dreamscape, we know about the new characters. I want to see what they say about the current state of the game and the most pressing issues. Let's see if we can find it.
To make choice for you, right? Left or right?
I think this is still the PvE. Let's see.
Useful is team sets, where you can save an entire team with all of their gear.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let's go find this. So let's see what Jack is talking about.
Events, they just need some too challenging for the casual players like that, or the reward is not as players expect. So when we design this
okay,
event,
they're wrapping up
of
the
course,
Dreamscape, the new PvE
this,
mode.
Thoughts in consideration. So first of all, I want to share is I believe this event will be the most rewarding event after launch among all these events.
That's crazy because Ember Trek and Ethernet Rally is very good.
Really rewarding in these new events. But I don't know if you noticed there are two, how to say, transport or
portals.
Portals. Yes, there are two portals. There's one is light, one is dark. So in general, so we also consider there are two types of players. One, you want to play safe. You want to guarantee some reward.
So guys, just to recap, y'all, since I did skip ahead, they're talking about, if you didn't watch the Hyper Talk, there's going to be a new mode called the Dreamscape It's like a new PvE mode, and they showed 2 portals, a light and dark. They also mentioned in like the text that, you know, if you fail, you miss out on rewards, and it sounded like the difficulty will be tied to like the more you risk, the more you get rewarded. And so I think Jack here is confirming like the light or dark portal might be the difficulty. And so the light one is easier, less rewards. The dark one might be harder, more rewards.
I recommend you go to the left one because there are not that much risk. You can always get the reward you want. But the other one, you will put in some attention because it's kind of risky. You might double or even triple your reward, but sometimes you lose your reward.
And you lose everything. I love that. High risk, high reward.
Make careful choices. So
that sounds fun.
My suggestion.
That sounds good.
In general, this event is very rewarding. I hope you will enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm going to take the risky portal, and then I'm going to lose everything and complain that it was the worst event of all time.
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of everyone. I think that's going to be everyone's experience.
I think that when you go stream, the players always you can let the players to make choice for you, right? Left or right.
Just while you're live streaming, all right, guys, which way am I going? And then
you know what they're voting for.
Yeah. Yes. So.
All right, cool. Thank you for that explanation, Jack. Let's get into talking about some of the quality of life adjustments and future plans.
Here we
start
go.
With Jenna this time on your thoughts.
Yeah, so let me talk about some quality of life things that I think would be really important for the game. So first of all, I think a lot of people are kind of in pain when they're swapping between different things that they're trying to farm. So like, let's say you want to farm Inferno Doki really quick, but then you look at your dailies and you're like, oh, I also have to farm this other thing.
Please talk about PvP
shells.
too, Jenna.
It can take a long time sometimes to swap between all of your gear. I know we have gear sets, but I think something that would be really useful is team sets, where you can save an entire team with all of their gear together, because then you, at a click of a button, you could instantly go, oh, I want to do this one, and now I want to do this one. I think that would help a lot of people because
they could even automate it, no?
One by one swapping between everybody. I think that would be really great. And another thing I would say is I think that we're just so low on silver. It just feels really rough. So, same with upgrading
Etheria
shells
coins.
Sometimes.
Training data.
You feel like you farm for a while to upgrade something and it just takes forever. However, at least shells, you're guaranteed you know what you're getting. But with gear, sometimes you'll upgrade something to plus 15 and it's not even that good of a piece of gear, but you just used a full day of all of your energy for that. And I think a lot of players are hurting from it.
So I agree with all the points that people are saying. I think one thing that a lot of people in the community would say if they were in my spot right now, that I know that Jack wouldn't really agree, is the lack of skill up that we get in a game.
Lattice.
Which is the Lattice for the SR and the SSR, because building these characters to follow the content creator guide means I have to max skill Red Cast or max skill Oboe, which I just can't do it right now, which is really, really hard. And I think it takes a long time to accumulate skill up in the game, which I think is the intention of the game. And a lot of skill up is hidden behind playing the game, like hyperlink chatter, like the Amber track or whatever. Like it's hidden. Because for a casual player, they would go into the shop to see if they can buy a skill up, and it's either with money or like a one skill up or two in the PvP shop, which they really hate doing. So I think in a way, we can highlight the skill up we can get in other parts of the game. That's gonna be great, because personally, I don't have a huge problem with skill up.
Jenna's cam frozen.
Like, I have 10 years of experience playing a similar game, so I know what I'm doing. But to a casual player, I think that's gonna be a nightmare to get skill up. And another thing is that
I think that's
when
true.
you farm in the game, right now, you farm a whole day and you kind of blow it in 2 pieces of module. I think another way to helpful with...
I think, guys, not to actually these two gentlemen, but the training data, I think, maxing out a shell could take your whole day of farming. But typically, you know, I'm not trying to defend module, but if you guys want to know the exact number, it's 680,000 to level up one piece of mythic gear. That is still a lot, and we don't get enough Etheria coins. But they're saying like you can only max one level piece of gear. I guess maybe if you're not refreshing at all, it feels like that. But I think most players should be refreshing at least a little bit. Free to plays though, I understand. Maybe you're finally at the point where you're not refreshing as much, and so not getting much out of your day's work of stamina. Yeah, it could be rough.
With the feeling that I farm a day, I want to at least guarantee something, is to allow us to get the module crafting currency, the module essence, after farming, so that we can slowly build up to craft in the module shop. Because I think right now the only way is to spend money to buy the crafting material to craft potentially a bad piece as well. But if I can just farm, recycle, get the module essence, and target the piece of gear that I'm missing to make the set, I think that's gonna really help with a lot of people to feel that, okay, I farmed the entire day, I can craft one or two pieces of the set that I really need, because I can farm an entire day and don't see a single swift rush, and that's
the problem is, though, he's right, especially on the left side gear, guys. The left side gear, if you want to buy like a Swift Rush, then the subs aren't too hard. You still probably want to find a speed substat. But if you guys are gambling on the right side modules, you still got to hit that right main stat. And then you still got to hope it's not, you know, a 2 matrix or a 3 matrix, depending on what set you need. But yeah, this sounds like an interesting idea for more module essence.
Gonna feel terrible. I just need one more piece, but I just don't see it. So I think being able to craft at least 1 or 2 Swift Rush or the momentum piece that they're missing, it's gonna help, because one of the things that really helped me when I break through that small gap between like the one before Hell was buying the $10 pack in the game that give you like the Momentum of Fury set that just complete my ditting.
I don't think it was
$10.
I don't
farm the next level to build my ditting, but I can just.
But I know which one he's talking about.
In the module shop, so I think that's gonna help.
I think there's a level 50-ish pack that gives you a set of Fury gear. Yeah, and I bought that one too. But I for me at least, I don't know if Sean's got some discount. I think it was like $30 to $50. There's a lot. It's quite a bit.
A lot of people with the question, how do I farm Inferno without Inferno gear? Because that's what people think you need to farm Inferno, is to get Inferno gear to farm Inferno. But how do I do that? Is to buy in the shop. By farming a lot in Hell, you can potentially get Inferno gear. In a way.
Okay, so
Jack.
First of all, I want to say this pain points or pain experience.
Wait, did Vulcan?
As player, as dev team, we also can feel. So as
I guess Vulcan hasn't talked yet.
Most of our team play the game whole day. So we are also like level 90 plus like that. So we are in the tier 1 player level. So we also we personally experience all these game settings and economic. So and all the players share in this community, and we also check every day. So we are aware of these problems or these not that good experiences. So first of all, but I want to share some thoughts of our game design thoughts. So why we set it like this and how we can improve in the future. Okay. In general, the economic, right? The economic of the game and the cost. So behind that, so that's why we set up like this way is, I don't say now it's perfect, but just we see several games that if they doesn't manage very well, it's at the very beginning, in a very short time, the silver of the game is just useless, and the players has so much amount of the useless coins.
I know a lot of y'all might be getting upset where Jack is saying like he's comparing other games, and he's, guys, I know, but if games give the players too much at the beginning, that does oversaturate the market, or not the market, but the player's economy, and then you guys have less of gear to grind. Okay, so don't get mad at that. It actually is true, but I think there needs to be some middle ground, right? That we need to reach, because right now it's too far on one end where we don't have enough. But he's trying to explain that they're being more careful with it, because in other games, if the game gives you too much resources, then either the silver, the coins become useless because you just pretty much have everything from the get-go.
The reward from the events or the silver related events. So we don't want that to happen. But of course now because we are just launched 1 month, and we don't have that much events put in the game, and the players also cannot really beat the end game content. So you will feel the reward is not enough. So what we thought is we will in the future, like we shared before, so the new event, the Dreamscape, it will be a huge amount of reward, include the silvers and other stuff. So because as the game goes on and on, there will be new events, new reward, a lot of things going on. So we want to solve this problem by adding new events, and so will feel, and as the players progression, their account will be stronger and stronger. They will, in every event, they will get more reward. So I think it will slightly.
We're gonna finish more of what Jack has to say here, guys. But it sounds like we may not receive a slash or a cut in terms of like upgrading gear. We may not get direct more coins, Etheria silver through the actual PvE farming, but instead we're gonna get it via these new events like the Dreamscape thing that they're gonna introduce this week. I'd have to wait to see how much we actually get from that before I kind of weigh in on if that's a good idea or not. But I guess for now, let's go ahead and finish.
Solve this problem, but of course we will also check some other things like RNG things, bad experience in a game like the the Inferno shell drop.
Oh, okay.
Of course it's not good looking very good right now. So some screenshots that they do a 5 round or 10 round, it's
all epic
gold, it's no
all
red.
Yellow. Yeah.
I saw that. So we are already trying to figure out a kind of PDC system, like at least every 5 round or 4 round you at least get 1 red. So
nice, I like that.
Not 10 round you get nothing, right? Another thing is
a
everybody
pity system.
In Inferno the gold one is already useless, right? So we want to replacement, but everybody's lack of the training data. So we will replace the golden ones into a special shell. You can call it training data shell. So when you get the golden one, it's not for battle. You can just sell it, but you get double or even, I don't know, just more trading data.
Oh, I like this, guys.
To you, it's not for battle. It's
yeah.
When you get the gold one, you get more
training
data.
Okay,
so
let me
won't
finish.
Feel that worse when you get a gold one. So all this solution we are already working on, and but
nice. That sounds really
time.
promising.
It's just an idea, so we need some dev time and testing how it works. So, but what I want to say is we know this issue. We want to fix it, and with these solutions, I hope the players' general experience will be getting better. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so to recap what he said about the shells, guys. Right now, you could run 10 Inferno Rengokutsu, or the hardest shell in the game, and get 10 epic shells, right? That shouldn't be the case, he's saying. Instead, now they're gonna test a system where it's like every 4 to 5 runs, you'll be guaranteed at least 1 red mythic shell. Very good start. Not only that, he's saying that, he's addressing that by the time you're Inferno, you don't really want to be using epic yellow tier shells anyways. So he's going to replace those with a different type of like shell that you just sell anyways. And it's going to be like double the value. So we're going to get more mythic shells, it sounds like, and we're going to get even more training data from selling the garbage, which is honestly a huge increase in shell acquisition and shell training data. But it sounds like they're going to need some dev time to test it. So I hope that's sooner than later. They don't take too long.
That sounds great. Yeah.
I think one of the simplest solution is just like buff the training data drop, like simply 50%, not even double. I think just a little bit more so that you can actually max out 1 shell a day.
Yeah. The goal is the same, I said. So let's see. So we will figure out. So let's say, because I also want to feel drop, because the training data it's a number, so you cannot feel it's 1,000, it's 10,000, 2,000. You cannot really feel that. But we hope when we introduce this new training data shell
that you sell,
you can see you get it.
It's like a piggy bank.
Rewarding, because you get 5 of them. You get 50,000.
Make it a gold piggy
data,
bank.
You know that, so it's better than a useless red one. Even it's better than, because you sell a red one, you get 10K. Let's say. Then you get a gold training data shell, you get 20K. So you feel, this is even better than some trash red one, right?
Kind of, right? Just, once again, I'm trying, guys, sorry. I'm not trying to actually now Jack, but sometimes you need those trash red shells. Remember, you need 10 to combine with your 1 to fully awaken it. But yeah, in general, he's saying that the gold or the new training data that the new training data shell is going to be worth more than a crap mythic.
Because the red one, if it's not perfect, you still want to sell it. So yeah, we already discussed a lot. It's just adding some number. It's easy, but it's not feel that good.
Doesn't feel good.
Even we add it, you cannot feel it.
I want to feel good.
So, but yeah, we will solve this problem, and I think we'll make this experience a little bit better. Yeah. Then back to, I think that let me ask, if you mentioned so many things during this period, if you can only choose one,
I love
I'm
this.
not saying we are only doing one, but if you can only choose one quality of life, which one do you want?
Great question from Jack, guys. When you're asking for something, he just said it perfectly, right? It's not just that they're gonna do one, but they need to take time. So, what is the priority? I can't wait to see what the content creators say here. But remember, when you give a list of stuff we want fixed, what is our number one priority? Because, like he said, they need dev time to test and implement a system to give us what we want.
I think it would probably be the gear management, or like honestly, I got the two: gear management and skill order priorities. Those are my two. I can't pick one.
We all choose one different one, so we have to do three. Right?
Yeah. Well, how about we all choose two now?
Yeah. Okay. So, we know that the gear management we believe it's the most painful point now, because
Please, Jack,
so
please.
many characters, so many different content to have to run, and even there are so many different PvE and the PvP.
Yes.
So,
Don't double
internally,
down.
We already start a solution for this. So we are doing two things. I think it's basically what Jenna Z has mentioned. I hope you will be satisfied when it's released. The first thing we are trying to do is
Oh my
for
God,
the
wait.
team management.
Team
Because
loadouts.
we have team preset in the game, right? You can preset your team, but now the gears and the shells are not included.
Yes.
So we are trying to make a solution when you preset a team. Let's
Guys,
say
this is
the
great.
Doki Doki team.
Oh
then
my
the
God.
team, modules and shells all included. How about that?
That's perfect. That's great.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
sounds
exactly
great.
what we need.
Holy.
So that's the thing. The mostly because for PVE, because we have so many different dungeons, you need to really different team, even the same team sometimes with different gear set or shell. So I think if we finish this feature, I think this will be a huge improvement. And another thing is, for me personally, I usually have to switch from my Shadows area to another like let's say Kraken, like that. So I also don't have that much gears for all these characters.
Yep.
So of course, separate for PVE and PvP.
Please.
Gear set. We're also working on it.
My
So
man.
Hopefully, and ideally, when we launch this feature, you can get how to say, in your arena page. We have 3 arena, right? That's mostly for PvP. We will add a feature there. You can preset all your PvP gears.
Oh my
So
goodness.
Then after you preset all your characters' PvP gear in all PvP content, including the Guild War and all these 3 mode of PvP, the character will only use these PvP gears.
Nice. Good.
Perfect.
But then, of course, they cannot share. It's all the characters still they have to manage. They cannot share the.
Yeah. You can't double dip.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So they cannot share the same piece, but everyone could have. That's for PvP.
You don't have to
And then
swap
when you
it.
go
That's
to
what we want.
PvE, you have this team set. The PvE, they will go to the PvE one. So it
Yes.
doesn't matter. And
Holy.
also, someone mentioned about the Etheria. So when we have this feature, the problem also solved, because someone said they should have a snapshot of the gears, but you already have a PvP set, then no problem, because
Okay.
in Etheria they will.
My God.
It goes to the PvP.
Guys, I wish this video came out before. I know so many people, myself included, were upset that they kind of doubled down on like not giving us the arena snapshot, like where we have to keep arena gear on. Jack is just saying here that you don't need to do that because we're going to have this brand new PvP loadout system. This would have cleared up a lot of PR, like a lot of people getting upset. So anyways, I'm glad we hear about it now at least.
Said. So I think when we add these 2 features, a lot of problem will be solved. But it's complicated because we already have this gear management and all these things. So you just need some time to develop.
Sure.
I just share today is we already started. We started the solutions and the design plans, but it will take some dev time, especially a lot of testing based on this. But we will work. We are already working on it.
This is awesome.
We'll release. That's what I said in the next few. Let's say updates, but please be patient. We already put this very high priority for these 2 features, so let's hope we can release soon. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I love
that's
it.
really great to hear, actually. Well, if you guys are fixing that, then I guess the one thing that I would want would probably just be a little bit more resources. So the resources don't feel so
You
tight.
already
Don't
choose
upgrade
two. You
characters.
already choose two, right?
He's
All
saying,
right, guys,
Jenna,
now that we've asked
don't be
Jack
greedy.
A bunch of questions. It's time for Jack to ask some back. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask them?
Yes, I think we talk quite a lot about PVE content and the economic.
Oh, bring up Revelation.
All this stuff.
Revelation.
But you know, Etheria is not only a PVE game. We also have PvP content like RTA, like the Fearless.
Come on,
Arena,
Vulcan.
All this stuff, and we got EWS, the tournament, official tournament is running. So for me, I just want to hear about you guys, your general feeling about the PvP content and all this stuff, the experience in Etheria. Do you have any suggestions or feedback according to this PvP part?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to start off because I've had a great experience on stream with the RTA especially. So I started a new account on Asia's server 2 weeks in, so it's only about 2 weeks old now. And, you know, we've been playing up until basically floating now between Platinum 3 and Diamond 1, where you get the new rule set. And it was just really fun playing some games and, you know, doing the sort of off meta thing where I had my Lily, but she was just my band bait, and then I'd have a really fast O-ball that just stuns everyone at the start. Obviously, higher ranks, you got more bulwark that doesn't work. But I think even on the early game stage where, you know, I was level 40 to 50, beating level 80 to 90 accounts, it has that real fun and strategy about it in the RTA. And honestly, it's the side of the game that I enjoy the most, even though I'm a free-to-play player. I just love RTA. I love strategizing, coming up with teams, and doing all that stuff. I think honestly the biggest downfall for me in terms of playing RTA on the first account that I created was that I hit Inferno, and then I had to, like, I was having so much fun pushing RTA, and then I'm like, oh, I've got to reprioritize absolutely everything for trying to sort out this Inferno grind. So I think in general, PvP is just really fun side of the game. I've been hosting a bunch of the tournaments as well, and you get to see some really cool stuff in the tournaments. You know, it was last tournament we had, it was very bruiser heavy. You know, which is a strat I personally love. But then when you're a spectator and you've gone through 4 bruiser matches, and then you come up to 2 blokes both running complete Revelation builds, and it's like, who's going to outspeed and Revelation nuke the other one, or are they on Bloodbath? You know, like, there's all those different strategies. And I think on a spectacle, I've really enjoyed hosting some of these tournaments because you get to see some really cool strategies. And from a player level, as a free-to-play player on an account that was 2 weeks old, like, I still got to, you know, create my own strategies that could outplay people that have been playing longer than me. So I love RTA. That's why that was the main thing that drew me into the game. And I think it's going really well. As for the standard arena, as you mentioned earlier about some of the gear changes you guys have possibly in the works, I think that would solve a lot of that, because I think one of the main frustrations with the ETH arena is just when you're farming gear and you have to change the gear, and, you know, your defense just keeps losing. As for the Fearless arena, I love the rewards in it. I think the whole format of it is great as well. And yeah, I think I would be interested to see, like, maybe some rotations in that Fearless arena, because it's only a weekend thing. It's not the most serious thing. You're not trying to rank in ladders in that. I think once we get a bit further into the game, it'd be interesting to see maybe, like, different restrictions, like maybe no SSR in the Fearless arena, because it's just a side mode that's a bit of fun. So I think maybe it could evolve later on to have more, you know, fun aspects to it, considering at the end of the day,
that's the tournament bracket one, guys.
Stress if you're not winning all those games.
Yep. Sean and you?
I think I'm more focused on the Etheria, the AI one. But to me, it's not really PvP. It's more, to me, it's like another Inferno level dungeon in there. If you beat it, then you get, like, rewarded very heavily, which is amazing. And I think that is where a lot of casual player will also focus on, because that is where you don't lose a lot and you win a lot from that content, which give people a very good feeling from playing a PvP game. And personally, I've reached Mythic rather comfortably, and I get a lot of rewards from that, but a lot of people would not get to Mythic that easily. And I think the problem with that content right now is the gear swap thing, which hopefully is going to be fixed in the future. But I think another problem I have with the content is when you go to the arena shop, the first shop that allow you to buy the lattice is very expensive to a non-super
I believe it's 7,500,
guy
7,500.
and they feel like they're going to be missing out on the perfect and the evolution lattice, which can be kind of a big deal for a lot of player, because that's where a lot of progression is being gated behind. Is that, do you have your Linglo skill 1 max? Do you have your Catchy the God skill 3 max? And
Catchy the God.
The price on the Etheria shop is gonna really help a lot, because not everyone can play five matches a day, or remember to play 5 matches a day, or not everyone can afford the feeling of using their pool currency to refresh the arena ticket to do another 10 so they can get the rewards in there. Personally, I do, because it's not a big deal for me and I can get all the rewards in there, but it's definitely going to be a problem for many players, and I wish that the prices of the Etheria could just be a bit more affordable for the players. That would be amazing.
Interesting.
And because you can also buy all the progression items in there, but because it's in there and you can't buy it, it feels kind of bad. And in terms of RTA, I absolutely love it. I love doing RTA in Summoner, so I think I do easily.
Let's see if one of the players brings it up, guys. But my feedback in terms of the RTA rewards, I think right now it's very hard to cap out your RTA points per week. That is the Summit Arena. And there is a shop that has a lot of very valuable stuff in there. I think it's like the dupe items, the LD summons. And if you lose a match, guys, it's 10 points for losing, 100 per winning. You can cap out 2,000 a week. So players that either don't enjoy the Summit Arena, the real-time arena, imagine you have to lose, what is that, 200 times? That's a lot of losses. Or you have to win 20 times. It's kind of rough. I wish there was a little balance in there, so that players can either get it, cap out a little bit quicker, and then the people that just love RTA can just keep playing without worrying.
300 RTA tickets per week, and I would love to do more, because it's so much fun doing RTA all the time. But the problem with doing RTA in this game is I win 20 matches and I'm done. Like I don't feel the motivation to do more RTA than I need to. And it feels kind of bad to do more for.
I think this might be because Sean and I come from different games. He comes from Summoner's War. I come from Epic 7, where we don't even have a shop for RTA. So I think it's fine to cap it out at 20. I think he's going to ask for an increase on that. I don't think that's a good idea because, one, a lot of players aren't even capping their 2,000 per week. And two, Sean, in my opinion at least, the enjoyment is from just playing in general. So I love that we get rewarded per week, but after the 20, man, if you want to keep going, you just play for the fun of it, to learn, to climb even higher. And there's going to be like cosmetic rewards, I'm assuming. So I hope he's not asking for an increase on that, because I think that'll really burn players out.
Basically no gain. And I can see all the item in the shop that I can buy if I play more, but I can't now because there's just no reward for RTA. And I wish that the RTA participation mission could reset every single week. I think
okay, that one I agree with. That I agree with,
which is
though.
kind of a deal breaker for a lot of people for doing RTA, and I hope that RTA participation can be much higher.
I like that. I thought he was going to ask to increase the 2,000 cap.
Reset every single week. That would be very, very cool.
Yeah, okay. So first, thanks for your feedbacks. And I think first back to Sean's feedback. So it's a little bit challenging, so like I said, our game is not only PvE but also PvP content. But how to balance in these two content, it's really challenging, because every player's play style and their favorite content is different. Someone really love to play RTA every day, and also we see some people playing Fearless Arena. There's one guy, he got 70 championship in that week. So they really try to play that. But some people, they also feel very stressful to play RTA, because it's very stressful, because there are a lot of good players there.
Ladder fear, playing an actual person on the other end. I get it.
RTA. So if we make that reward even higher, maybe some people will say, oh, I always get to lose, I have to play more RTA, and or I will lose that reward.
That's what I was kind of saying.
So it's still
as well
hard to balancing, but we will of course collect more data and try to make a balance. Back to the refresh of the the tasks and like that. I just want to bring up is we generate, before we set the season, it's 3 months. It's a 3-month season, but after we run this game, we think maybe this is a little bit too long. So in the next patch, we will try to reduce this season reset
2 months
into 4 to 6 weeks. So it's not fixed because
oh wow, wait, 1 to 1.5. I think that's too short.
Events or some updates. So it's in general it's a 1 month 2 months. No, sorry, it's 2 months. It's around 8 weeks.
I was about to say 4 weeks is crazy.
2 month season. So then the rewards for RTA will be more frequently to get, and the task reset we will try to see if we can also make it some adjustment about that.
Okay.
That's back to RTA. But in general, so I think that's also the fun part of our game. It's the PvP part, and but the PvE it's a cycle to when you make progression, you can have.
No one brought up
more,
Revelation though.
Possibility or more strategy in the PvP part. So
Vulcan kind of mentioned briefly, guys, the Revelation, but the tournament that him and I casted, I think this is before the tournament on Saturday. Timaeus actually says he's going to try to get it banned because it is a very powerful play style. And when you maximize, when you start using like 4 to 5 per draft, it gets very, very strong, almost oppressive levels. There is counterplay, and the alternative is some people don't want to just have like bruiser versus bruiser every game. But I do think a lot of players are of the like mind that Revelation right now for PvP is a little bit overtuned, and we would like to see some adjustment at least sometime. But I don't know if the players here are gonna ever say it.
In general, that's what's make Etheria. So when you enjoy the PvP farming and the progression, then you can also enjoy the PvP part. And also that's why we also hold this tournament in the end, just a few weeks later, in middle July. So there's we already have some players already qualified for the final stage, and they will come to Shanghai, and we will live broadcast the final tournament. So let's just hope the players. You can support. You can also will have in-game events. You can support your players and watch the tournament. Hope you will enjoy this tournament. Yeah. Okay, then I think we have last one question. Is everybody care about?
Oh, here we go.
Double drop.
Oh, and the resets,
so
guys.
Last time I think.
Wait, is that a typo? Reser, but I'm pretty sure that means Animus reset.
I don't know. Have a great time or just too much grinding time and. But I think still it's one of the most rewarding events in our game.
Yes.
We know that, so I would just take this chance, like back to Vulcan's question, how this is supposed to be and how frequently this event will happen. So in general, because this event is rewarding but also quite time consuming, right? You will spend whole bunch of time hours farming all the dungeons because players will save a lot of stamina for this event, we know. So that's why at the very beginning we said we only announce this event 5 days before. We don't want you to save months or to that. So that means this event won't happen too frequently. Too frequently means it won't happen twice in a month. It won't. It's just too much. If it happens twice in a month.
Once a month.
So in general, we hope it's we design it's we will launch this event 4 or 6 weeks. I think that's
okay. Guys, they're actually giving us a date, and in Epic 7, you get pretty much, I don't even think Epic 7 guaranteed it, but it's typically once a month. So Jack's saying 4 to 6 weeks. That's going to give us at least a timeline. And don't forget too, from the hyperlink yesterday, they told us they'll let us know 5 weeks in advance, or not 5 days, in advance. So now we can kind of put those two pieces together, keep an eye out for when they announce it that week, and expect it in a month, a month to a month and a half. So that's going to give us a lot of leeway in terms of how much we need to save and when to expect it. It's still not an exact date, but this is a lot of information for the 2x double drop events.
Fixed 30 days because sometimes we have to match some of our big updates or some, let's say, big holiday, like let's say Christmas, right? Before Christmas or New Year, Happy New Year, maybe we will fix the schedule to that New Year or New Year like that. So it's not fixed 4 weeks, but every 4 or 5 weeks, I think. So we plan to at least
that sounds good.
Do this double drop.
1 month, one month a week.
As we already talked about here, and I think the players are already asking what's the next time. So I just tease. I think we will announce this next event right just next week. So I just announced it. So next
Oh
weekend,
my-
I think.
Guys, that means this week. So they're going to let us know. They say 5 days in advance. That means this next weekend. Start planning right now, guys. That's going to be my thumbnail title. That's going to be my title. I'm going to hold Jack to it. So they need to let us, remember, they said 5 days in advance. So expect something on the Discord, Twitter, maybe on YouTube that they're going to let us know that there's going to be an event this next weekend, man.
The official announcement will come out Monday. So as we said,
Oh, so we'll know
we
tomorrow.
will 5 days before that,
As of
we
recording
will
this,
do a
guys.
Monday
Today?
official
Tomorrow?
announcement, and then the next weekend we will do it.
I have 50
So
stabilizers.
let's
Let's
stabilize,
go.
yeah.
Thank you guys so much for today, like joining us, especially for all this time we've been here. We really appreciate it, and all of this feedback is super valuable to us and our team. You know, I hope we can continue conversations like this in the future, especially with Hyper Talks, just meetups like this. It's really important for the game health, and you know, we all believe in this game.
By the way, can I just say, guys, the guy on the right, I apologize for forgetting his, I think it's Chris. My chat, a lot of my chat is really, they like this guy on the right. I don't know like what his job is. Jack is like the dev, the main man. But whoever this guy is, you just know, man, my chat is, they can't stop talking about him.
Building it the best that it can be, and you know, we might have a rocky start sometimes, but it's like there's so much here to work with, and the future is bright. And you know, thank you guys for being patient and really working hard to provide this feedback, and we're happy to have you here.
Yeah, and thank you for all the great content, the amazing content. you have
Nice.
created,
Guys,
the
I'm
live
actually
stream
very happy.
And the tournament, all this stuff you have provided to this community. And I also want to, again, to take this chance to thank all these players, the amazing players who joined this journey.
Thank
with
you,
us.
Jack.
And we're not a perfect game. We're just a start. We're just 1 month. So it will take time to improve, and we are always trying to improve. So please always keep your voice in the community. And we have, I said again, we have our community manager, and myself is there. I apologize that after launch, maybe I'm a bit quiet in the community. Is because there are really a lot of stuff ongoing. We were preparing the new content, doing the patches, fixing bugs, and we're also preparing there are some regions still not launched yet, like mainland China. Even our mainland China players cannot play the game, and Japan, Taiwan, and Korean, like this stuff. So a lot of stuff preparing. So I will try to be more active and to hear from your voice, and try to make more communication through this kind of event. Yeah, just thank you again, and hope you to support Etheria, and let's together make this game better and better. Thank you.
Nice.
Thanks. And I just want to chime in quickly and just say thanks to you guys as well for having us.
All right, guys. I think they're going to do the creator shout outs here. So Sean B, Vulcan, Genizod. If you don't know the three of these guys, I've talked with all three of them. Amazing content creators. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you follow them. I loved what they said here, but I want to give my closing thoughts here because we're about to hit 1 hour runtime. So I got to get this under an hour. Overall, the only thing that I think they didn't really address is the Revelation PvP. Vulcan mentioned it once, but I don't think he was talking about like it needs to be fixed. He was just mentioning his experience with it. In general, though, they talked about the training data, increased coins via events. We have a confirmed 2x event now. They talked about team loadouts. Guys, I think this is huge. They gave us firm information. Jack told us they're working on stuff. Make sure y'all give them some time, though. The devs are going to implement systems between like the training data shells selling, between more mythic pity shells dropping. The events will give us more coins. They're going to work on the team loadouts between PvE, PvP as well. So there's a lot of stuff in the works. This is an amazing piece of content. I'm glad they did this Etheria meetup. Maybe, hopefully, I can be on one in the future. But in general, I think they addressed almost everything that I wanted, and this gives me a lot of confidence and hope for the game. Let me know what you guys think. Leave it some comments below, and if you guys can stop by the live stream, we'll be discussing this tomorrow. I'll be on every single day of the week, so stop by, guys. Make sure you say hi, and thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. I love this game. I want it to do great, and I think this is an amazing, one of the first amazing big steps at addressing the community's concerns. All right, y'all. Catch you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.